Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Midweek Market Meetup. We'll just let a few more people join and then we'll get on with it. G'day, Tomek. How you doing, buddy? How's your week been so far? Have you managed to take any successful trades? My week's been good so far. Thank you, buddy. Morning, Ray J. Vikash, good morning. Marcus, how you doing? Yeah, I'm not surprised you haven't had a trade this week yet, mate. It's with no news until tomorrow. It's the lower probability sort of week. Thanks, evening. It is evening here. All right, we've got a few people here. Let's roll on with it. Make sure, feel free to use the chat. We'll run through any questions, comments that pop up as we move through the stream, and we'll also see if there's any questions left at the end, and we'll run through those. All good at the top. I'm always happy, mate. I'm always happy where I am. All right, let's have a look at the calendar. Surprise, surprise, no news. No news today. So this is why we're having a lower probability sort of week. We are moving into some news tomorrow. And hopefully we'll see some good liquidity with some nice high probability setups. Also with news, oil inventories are tomorrow. They're not today. They're usually on a Wednesday, but they've been pushed back till tomorrow. And they do that every now and then. So just keep an eye on that. So oil inventories is tomorrow. Yeah, I can have a quick chat about the stat map from what I understand of it anyway. That's cool. G'day, Jerome. How you doing, mate? Thanks for jumping in. All right, let's get rid of the news and move over to the charts. So I'm not using the stat map indicator just yet myself. But what I do know about it and what I've seen is it's giving some very high probability setups and very much working cohesively with the unicorn model as well. So essentially being able to use the stat map or the manipulation levels as a point of interest, and then looking for a unicorn entry from that. So it's basically using statistical mapping, hence the word stat map, giving us manipulation levels on or higher time frame manipulation levels that we can then work from to frame a trade. And the unicorn just seems to play off them very, very nicely. So just the stat map projects an average manipulation and distribution levels on our chart. I can't really go into it in too much more detail, but and because I'm not using it personally, but certainly in Unicorn University, there's a lot of chatter about it. I know Juno is bringing out a document on it very shortly. So that'll be a great tool to be able to read through and make some decisions based upon that, whether you want to look into it further. Even if you, it is a paid indicator, so obviously there's a fee involved to use it, but it might be something that you decide to use for a month or something to give it a test, and then you could possibly, obviously build your own opinion of the indicator from that point, and whether you choose to use it or not. But I think from everything I've seen so far, it's looking like a very, very good tool to give you confluence to the Unicorn trading model. And I will be grabbing the stat map before the week is out. I want to give it a test run myself. Obviously, it's very good to see what other people are doing with it, but until you use it yourself and get a feel for it, then it probably is that's probably where you get the most value, obviously, and the most insight. So I'm going to jump into that towards the end of the week. Well, we've only got a couple of days left, so it'll be either be tomorrow or Friday. I'll see if I can find a link to it. I can drop it in the chat so you guys can check it out. Or if Tomic, if you've got one, if you want to drop it in the chat, that'll be great. All right, let's move over to NQ. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth checking out, to be honest, Jerome. I really do. All right, so we had a pretty good sell-off yesterday on NQ, obviously moving from a bearish point of interest, this bearish FVG on the daily, and also aligned with this swing high. Now, initially yesterday, I wasn't going to straight away say, yes, I have a bearish bias, because we did get this solid close above, also above the consequent encroachment or the midpoint of this bearish FVG. So I did want to wait for a change in the state of delivery. We actually got a failure swing and then a change in the state of delivery on the hourly, and we'll have a look at that. But price didn't offer up a entry that met my criteria, so I didn't actually take any structured trades. And I say structured trades because I did just jump on and catch a falling knife to pump up some of my evals. I would never do that on funded. Not financial advice, okay? Don't do anything wild. It's only something I do to expedite evals. If I can see an objective, see a draw where price might be heading towards, and especially with momentum that we had with this drop, I just market ordered in and took some green on some evals. So with this idea in mind, we also pushed through this order block here, and we got a clear close below that as well. We're coming up and retesting that level at the moment, so I'll be looking for price to, if it does have a willingness to move higher here, is it going to move above beyond this level here into the 50% level of the previous day's candle body range. We have taken the low here, and if we bring up ES just to put it side by side, we see that we do have a SMT at the lows here. So it's equal lows for ES and a lower low for NQ. So we do have a bullish SMT, something to keep in mind. And I also saw in the free Discord, the Ash Capital Discord, who was it? I think it was my mate RT Money, that's who it was, mentioned that YM, which is a correlated asset to NQ and ES, not something that I look at. I very rarely look at YM, but I just noticed this in the chat that YM actually dipped into the FVG here. So you'd be looking at likely a bullish bias on YM. So there could be a bullish move here today, or we could just see consolidation with news tomorrow. But we did have this sell-off here with this SMT. Let's get rid of the ES chart. Obviously, this was quite a clean move and a decisive move that closed lower here. And being that we're moving from a bearish point of interest, then I would be looking for price to continue lower. We also have this low resistance liquidity here, which would be a nice draw on liquidity. Good morning, Faz. Thanks for joining, buddy. Feel free to leave any comments in the chat, guys, as we move through. So if price does have a willingness to move up here, then I'd be looking for price to respect, the 50% level of this old bullish order block, because we did close through that. If we don't see a close above that level, then price will likely continue lower. We'll have a look at the hourly. So this was our failure swing through this region here. And then I was looking at this level here as the change in the state of delivery. Oops, wrong one. Bearish change in the state of delivery. Quite clear displacement here. And these were the levels that I was looking at yesterday as a draw on liquidity when we started selling off. These relative equal lows or low resistance liquidity through here. And if we run our projections of this manipulation leg, the -2 to -2.5, which is our target area, was very much aligned with this region here. We then got a reaction from the -2. Price found support in this old bullish FVG over here. Swept these lows and then found some support here. So what we want to see, and that's not unusual, obviously we've reached this level of interest here, and when we do get to these levels we can anticipate consolidation or retracement. For me, this is not retracement just yet, but more consolidation. if we get a close below the negative 2.5, then we can look for the negative 4. And again, we have more low resistance liquidity resting down here. You can see price hasn't been decisive through any of this price action here. There's no displacement. So I'd be looking to see if we get a sweep rather of this high, for example. That would be a good place to look for a potential continuation unicorn as we come into New York Open. And if a trade does set up today, I will take it. It's a medium probability day with no news. Let's move over to ES. Okay, so looking at ES, created equal lows here. So we can see if we look up here, Monday's low, 5850, Tuesday's low, 5850. So it didn't dip into this bullish FEG yet. And we're working with all-time highs here, so we don't have, you know, a lot of information to work with to the left of the chart here. So if anything, I'll be looking for price. If it has a tendency to move up, will it find some resistance at the 50% level here before moving lower? And if we do move lower, then what happens at this bullish FEG? Do we get a reaction here or do we displace through it? So I'll be looking for bearish price action, even if we do get a move higher, to then to drop from there. On NQ drone, I'm assuming. So first of all, we moved lower. Where are we? I don't see, like what I'm seeing here is that we certainly have potential to be an open high, low, close candle today. If we respect this bearish FEG here, if price has a willingness to get up to this level, and we're still forming more low resistance liquidity, through here as well. We do have some high resistance liquidity here, but this isn't a breaker either. So we may see something like this. Let's have a look at ES on the hourly. Glad, are we talking about NQ, mate? So ES also had a failure swing. I was actually hoping that maybe, ES might give us an SMT yesterday morning, and then I could still look for a position on NQ, but that didn't happen. I'll just finish this ES hourly and then we'll jump back to NQ, buddy. So we had the similar idea to NQ, bearish change in the state of delivery after the failure swing here. Clear displacement. And then if we run our projections, we can actually see the target was met here on ES. We created this equal low. So we do have this as a potential draw on liquidity for today's session, especially if we respect this bullish, this bearish FEG. Yeah, agreed, Jerome. So moving from this bearish FEG, I'd be looking for price to continue lower. If we respect this, we have some equal highs here at, what's that? From the Asia session. So that would be good for a manipulation level for price to then continue lower. Let's jump back to NQ for a second. So glad, G, your question was, could you take a look at the potential daily profile? Oh no, sorry. Hi Jimmy, is price not located in the swing low of the daily candle? I'm not sure if I'm following you correctly, but I don't see a swing low here, and price is inside yesterday's range at the moment. So working from this swing high, having a bearish idea, looking for price to move lower to this draw down here, these failure swings, this low resistance liquidity. Hopefully that answered your question, buddy. Okay, let's have a look at oil. On the daily. So I was bearish moving into yesterday's session, and then I was looking at reassessing once we reached this bullish FEG. And we did in fact reach that level and react to that level. So once that happened, I wasn't looking to be bullish straight away. we've got quite a lot of momentum here. We've even gapped down, and I know gaps like to be filled, but we've sort of left these behind, particularly this one here. Obviously it will be filled at some point, but for now we've just left it behind. So I wanted to wait for price to print a bullish change in the state of delivery before I was considering any bullish positions yesterday. We're still respecting this bullish FEG. We have this order block that is also with the 50% level aligned with this FEG. So, you know, even if price comes down and takes out yesterday's low, I'd actually still like to see price move higher if we respect this level. We then have this bearish FEG, which price could react from for price to continue lower. So I'm going to sit bullish on the daily because we are moving from this bullish FEG for a potential move back into this bearish FEG here. If we have a look at the hourly, it's fairly bearish really, isn't it? We do have you know, this buy side of the curve, and then we have the sell side of the curve. And if you run your projections from this reversal here, I'll just run that across so we can expand that a little bit. We can see that objective was reached. The -4 was reached virtually to the tick. And I was looking for a change in the state of delivery. I know this is a failure swing, but it was also an SMT. This was an SMT with RB. Got a lot of questions about what we can use for SMT with CL. So you can look at RB or you could look at UK oil. So we have a look at RB. You can see that RB made a lower low, whereas CL did not. What chart am I using? I'm using CL1. Just make sure you have the B adjustment for the contracts blue. Make sure that's active, Marcus. And also you want to have a look at in your settings. Where are we? Make sure you have adjust for contract changes ticked. Okay, you're going to want that ticked. So I was looking for this to be a change in the state of delivery. And yes, we did in fact get displacement here, but we've now started to invalidate that as an idea. We could see the reaction we've had from this bearish FEG as well on the hourly. So really now if we're going to move lower, or if we do find some support here by some miracle, then I'm going to want to see a new change in the state of delivery. And then for that price to be respected. Because we are in such a bearish order flow, even though I'm bullish on the daily, I'll happily sit on my hands until I'm aligned. And I could be wrong for my bias, and that's okay. Again, as we've said before, we're only using our bias to frame an idea to get ourselves a position. So until I see this, either this level becomes respected once again, or we dip lower and then create a new change in the state of delivery, this is still bearish structure for me, and I would sit on my hands on oil. Unless, of course, we get that change in the state of delivery. So there was a unicorn during London session today on Euro futures. We'll have a look at that. If you haven't seen it, I didn't take it. We have been looking at this bullish FVG to be respected. Coming off quite strong bearish momentum. So even though I have a bullish idea on the daily, similar to oil, I'd want to see a change in the state of delivery because of how strong this momentum has been. I'm going to look at the hourly. We are setting up for a change in the state of delivery here. We have a sweep. This is starting to look really nice for reversal. So we have high resistance liquidity. We have relative equal highs here. Low resistance liquidity through here. And we have an FVG aligned with a bullish breaker. So if price can hold on the breaker here, then definitely looking to see price move higher. I agree, Jerome. Yeah, the sell-off's been pretty large on the Euro futures. So like I said, I need this change in the state of delivery after such bearish momentum. You don't even need to do any analysis to know that you're in a bearish order flow. You can just see it. But we are getting a reversal here. It looks like we are getting that reversal. So here's an opportunity to run our standard deviations. So we have the -1 aligned with this high, really nice confluence. And again, we have the -2 to -2.5 also aligned with this low resistance liquidity, which just continues obviously all the way down through there. And we have these relative equal highs here. So these highs here could act as a very nice draw if we can get this reversal here. And if you're inclined to take an hourly position, that's what 2R would look like on an hourly. So let's drop down to the 5-minute and have a look at the London trade. We have a stop hunt. Then we have our bullish breaker. We get displacement through the breaker and then get a nice close above. You have to sweat through a little bit of drawdown here, but that maketh the man, that does. Let me tell you, you can get used to doing that without sweaty palms. You're doing all right. And then a nice 2R right below Asia High, which is a really nice location to take. You know, you could take partials there, or you could target the Asia High to target the extremes of the range. So a very nice long position there if you took it. Yes, right at 3, yeah. Yeah, coincidence? I don't think so. All right, let's have a look at gold. Yeah, the draw on the hourly for 6E does look very nice indeed. It'll be good to see if it plays out that way. Okay, gold. So gold moving from a bullish daily FVG here. Also an inversion with a balanced price range. So a really nice area for support, and you can see that happened here. The candle wicked straight into this balanced price range and push straight back out. Price is located at a swing high, but it is displacing through that level currently. So I wouldn't be moving straight to bearish. We're also taking this high here. I would lean more on the hourly structure to see what's happening before I flipped to bearish, because we may see new all-time highs incoming this week. So I'll sit on neutral because of the location. And then let's have a look at the hourly. So we get a sweep like this. It's not a clean sweep. We don't have that because this candle is the entire candle without a swing high, say over here, for example. I usually use the entirety of this candle itself for my standard deviation projections. And if we grab that current all-time high, it's aligned perfectly with the negative 2.5. We've got just a continued grind up here as price is moving and retracing. It respects the bullish PD arrays. You can see that's happened here. It's happened here again. So no signs of a reversal here just yet, which is why having that neutral bias gives me the flexibility to remain bullish if I choose, or if I start to see a reversal, then I could look for a potential short position. But looking at this, looking at our projections, definitely think price may in fact reach new all-time highs. Hopping over to Dixie. So price was moving from this bullish FEG. Even though we've got this wild candle here, price immediately opened higher from this candle and has continued to move up, taking out this low resistance liquidity on its way. I'm looking for this high here as a target. We are close to that now. This high is also aligned with a bearish FEG, so I find these areas to be a strong reversal area. If price doesn't displace through, generally we find some real clean resistance here or a strong reversal where we have a swing high aligned with the bearish FEG. So that's our 2 points of interest we look for a reversal. So I'll be remaining bullish on Dixie for now. Have a look at GU. So we finally got that move lower. Been chasing this low. So we got that move lower. It's bias complete. We've been looking for that bearish price action. We had this consolidation and finally have taken this low, and we've reacted to that level as well. So let's have a look at the hourly. I'm guessing there might have been some news today, possibly, without looking at the, let me have a quick look, because that's quite a move there at 2 a.m. Oh, there you go. So it was CPI year on year for a GBP, which is why we see this move here. Thanks, Ray J. Yeah, there you go. I don't look at, don't usually look at any other red folders other than New York, so that's why I just had to check that. So now we're going to need to, hopefully form some structure here so we can get a change in the state of delivery and see our bias and structure aligned now that we've taken out that low. And that could be what CPI has done here. Objective complete. It's taken that low, and now we'll start recouping some of those losses. We have these equal highs here as well. Very nice draw liquidity. Might start wrapping it up there, guys. Is there anything you guys want me to have a look at? Another asset before I go? Any questions before I wrap up? I'll just say while I'm waiting for the chat to catch up, Aesthetic Capital is launching tomorrow. So I will be running a giveaway. So for all you Forex traders, Aesthetic Capital is a new prop firm. They will be also a Forex and futures prop firm, but futures is coming a little bit later on in the year, possibly November. So we'll be running some giveaways for our Forex traders tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. I hope you guys have a good Thursday. Sorry, losing my days. A good Wednesday. Trade patiently, take those A+ positions. And if there's no more chat, we will wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, slow but interesting week so far. I agree. Yeah, it has been a slow week. Doesn't usually worry me too much, but the my funded futures minimum trade day rule for funded accounts sometimes plays in the back of my mind, so I've always got to remember to at least take a wash trade if I have a week with no unicorn setups. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll be back again at the same time next week. Keep an eye out for my daily updates. I have my unicorn video coming out tomorrow as well, so keep an eye out for that. All right, guys, thanks so much for your support.